Welcome to Trial Site News Weekly Roundup. My name is Adrian, and I'll be going over some of our top news stories from this past week. Please click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of future videos. This week we start our roundup with clinical trials news stories. Patient engagement is coming to China, the world's second largest economy and largest country by population. At a recent event in Beijing, representatives from over 50 patient organizations from home and abroad sought a dynamic exchange of ideas around drug research and development, from R&D to clinical trials, accessibility, and improving overall outcomes. One thing was clear: patients in China are eyeing engagement with the drug development lifecycle, from early research and clinical trials to regulatory submission and commercialization. With up to 400 million people in the new middle class, this matters. Event organizer Roche is thinking ahead and out of the box, and possibly just accomplished more for brand awareness than its peers in one session. Elsewhere, the University of California, San Francisco, or UCSF, has designed a study based on the trial library intervention, intending to facilitate greater inclusivity of participation in clinical research. The UCSF team developed from the ground up elements to support inclusiveness, including the linguistic literacy and technological needs of underrepresented populations. This ongoing study will support UCSF researchers to collect essential preliminary data before a multi-site randomized clinical trial of the trial library. Meanwhile, Acadia Pharmaceutical announced positive top-line results from its Phase 2 advanced study, which evaluated the efficacy and safety of adjunctive pimavanserin treatment in patients with predominantly negative symptoms of schizophrenia, who have achieved adequate control of positive symptoms with their existing antipsychotic treatment. No drug is approved by the FDA for the treatment of the negative symptoms of schizophrenia up to this point. Continuing on now. The Karolinska Institute and the Academic Specialist Center, or the ASC, Stockholm, Sweden, will conduct a clinical trial of temozolomab in multiple sclerosis, or MS, with commercial sponsor Genuro. Led by Dr. Friedrich Fiel, Professor of Neurology, Department of Clinical Neurosciences, the single-center study will be conducted at the Center of Neurology of ASC, the largest MS center in Sweden, with approximately 2,400 patients. The University of Connecticut, or UConn, Department of Kinesiology, and Hartford Healthcare selected Medable Inc., a Palo Alto, California cloud-based clinical trial platform, to evaluate statin-related adverse events utilizing mobile accessible electronic patient-reported outcomes, or ePRO. Turning now to cancer-related news stories. Shanghai Henlius, Biotech's HLX02, a trastuzumab biosimilar, achieved similar overall response rates, or ORR, to reference trastuzumab Herceptin Roche in women with human epidermal growth factor receptor 2 positive HER2 plus recurrent or previously untreated metastatic breast cancer. Elsewhere in cancer-related news, private equity giant Blackstone, the world's third-largest private equity investor, continues to move deeper into the drug development vertical pairing with Ferring Pharmaceuticals. To ink a joint $570 million investment to develop a novel gene therapy in the quest to address an unmet need for bladder cancer patients. Fergene, a new gene therapy company and Ferring subsidiary, has been created to commercialize the target of this intriguing investment. Nadofaragene firadenovec, an investigational novel gene therapy in late-stage development for patients with high-grade BCG unresponsive non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, or NMIBC. Elsewhere, a drug developed at Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center, Arthur G. James Cancer Hospital, and Richard J. Solove Research Institute, or the OSUCCC James, in collaboration with biopharma venture partner Acerta Pharma, benefited from FDA approval as a first-line therapy in chronic lymphomatic leukemia, or CLL, and small cell lymphoma, or SCL. I swear though, lately it's been just not working so well. It used to work great. Continuing on with cancer-related news, a researcher from Stephenson Cancer Center at Oklahoma University, or OU, Medicine received a grant from the U.S. Department of Defense to explore means by which tumor cells may be avoiding detection in lung cancer. A unique study, the patients will be studied in real time as they participate in clinical trial involving immunotherapy medicine. A researcher from Stephenson Cancer Center at Oklahoma University, or OU Medicine, received a grant from the U.S. Department of Defense to explore a means by which tumor cells may be avoiding detection in lung cancer. A unique study, the patients will be studied in real time as they participate in clinical trial involving immunotherapy medication. Elsewhere, Medical University of South Carolina, or MUSC, researchers have found a new way to potentially inhibit colorectal tumor growth. The researchers plan to analyze samples from patients with different stages of colorectal cancer and investigate how levels of PGE2 and MIR675-5P correlate with prognosis or response to therapy. Meanwhile, the UK's brain tumor research seeks to build the UK's largest network of experts in sustainable brain tumor research in the quest to find a cure for this insidious class of disease. The organization showcases recent brain tumor research. Turning now to legal disputes news stories. Hollywood could not have created a worse character. A sociopath that established elaborate schemes to defraud clinical sponsors of millions, place patients at grave risk, and ruin the reputation of innocent doctors. Sami Anwar represents a real-life fusion of the Goodfellas and Catch Me If You Can in the world of clinical investigation. The Richland, Washington-based clinical investigator received millions of dollars during a multi-year run where he established what amounted to fraudulent clinical centers to illegally run trials involving, in some cases, life-saving drugs, not to mention controlled substances. Last Friday, a jury found Anwar to be guilty of fleecing the sponsors out of their money, endangering the lives of patients and destroying reputations of the physicians he used. How can sponsors and CROs prevent this from happening again? One might be to make sure that the principal investigator is who they say they are. And we'll keep you posted on this story as it continues to develop. Turning now to virus-related news. Researchers from the University of Glasgow and University of Melbourne, along with the Institute for Medical Research in Malaysia, conducted clinical trials in Kuala Lumpur using a strain of the bacteria Wolbachia, developed by scientists in Scotland and Australia as a way to block the transmission of the mosquito-borne dengue virus. Of note, once the mosquitoes carrying the WALB strain were released, dengue case reports declined by 40%. Turning now to autoimmune-related news stories. A 50% increase in clinical trials between 2017 and 2019 devoted to reducing symptoms of Hidradenitis suppurativa may be a first-line option for stage 2 and stage 3 patients. Dr. Kirby said it's important for dermatologists to consider a combination of surgical and medical options when treating hidradenitis patients. And whenever possible, she suggested providers begin pursuing a clinical trial as a potential first-line treatment method for patients who have stage 2 and stage 3 disease. Elsewhere, at the American College of Rheumatology 2019 annual meeting last week, it was mentioned that earlier this year, the National Cancer Institute, or the NCI, launched a phase 1 clinical trial to evaluate how effective nivolumab is for the treatment of cancer in patients with autoimmune disorders. Elsewhere in autoimmune-related news stories, Global Blood Therapeutics announced the US FDA has granted accelerated approval for Oxbryta tablets for the treatment of sickle cell disease, or SCD. D in adults and children aged 12 years of age and older. Oxbryta is expected to be available through GBT's specialty pharmacy partner network within 2 weeks. Turning now to arthritis-related news stories. AbbVie's Executive Medical Director Dr. Aileen Lorenzo-Pangan recently discussed the American biopharma company's commitment to advancing the standard of care for patients with rheumatic diseases such as ankylosing spondylitis or AS, with 38 abstracts presented at this year's ACR-ARP annual meeting. They discussed the results from 5 clinical trials involving RINVOQ in rheumatoid arthritis, and initial results from ankylosing spondylitis studies are published. Turning now to cardiovascular-related news stories. Cardiovascular disease is a top killer, and clearly more has to be done to reduce the impact worldwide. In the United States, heart disease is the leading cause of death, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC. The costs, both to public sector and private employer in economic productivity, is high, and ultimately contribute to accumulating national debt. The current health systems are more reactionary than proactive. What else can be done? Well, according to a new study from the UK's University of Birmingham, pharmacists infused into GP practice workflows could play an integral role in reducing and preventing cardiovascular disease. Why not give it a try? Do you have any clinical news you'd like us to report on? If so, let us know. Contact information is in the box below. If you'd like to watch more videos, you can click on the playlist that'll appear here to my right. Thank you for joining us for this week's Trial Site News Roundup, and remember, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of updates. We'll see you next time.